Mr. Macaroni Biography. Age, early life, family, education, career and net worth. Mr. Macaroni is a Nigerian actor, comedian, entrepreneur, and social media influencer, popularly known for his own "you are doing well" phrase. He has been acting for some years, but recently came into limelight after starting a series of comedy skits. In most of his skits, he usually plays the role of a sugar daddy looking for a side chick, and it is always full of adventures. His videos are loved because of their uniqueness and lessons that viewers learn at the endings. We have been seeing Mr. Macaroni's biography, date of birth, age, early life, family, parents, siblings, wife, children, education, comedies, movies, shoes, net worth, houses, cars, social media handles, and everything else you love to know about him. Don't forget to drop us a comment and share. Mr. Macaroni's profile. Before we continue, here is a quick rundown on Mr. Macaroni's profile and a few things you love to know about him. Full name: Debo Adebayo. Stage name: Mr. Macaroni. Date of birth: 3rd May 1992. Age: 28 years. Nationality: Nigerian. Education: Redeemers University. Occupation: actor and comedian. Net worth: $250,000. Debo Adebayo. Mr. Macaroni was born in Lagos State, Nigerian, into a family of 10. His father is a journalist while his mother is an educationist. He described his childhood as simple and always states that he was inspired by Pastor Chris Oyakhilome of Christ Embassy. His education wasn't really very rosy as he attended 3 different universities before finally graduating from Redeemers University, according to him. The first admission he got to study law in a private institution was cut short in his 200 level when the news broke out that the law department in the institution wasn't accredited. He left the school when, after some series of meetings with the authorities, they noticed that the school was nonchalant about the situation. He gained admission into another private institution to study law, and everything was going smoothly until he had an issue with one of his lecturers. He was summoned by the school authorities and eventually told to leave the school for some time, while they came up with a final decision. He wasn't expressly expelled, but decided to leave the school for another private institution. It was after a while that his friends informed him that his name came out on the result sheet. In his third school, he decided to opt for creative arts instead of law. After resuming in the school, he was one day informed by the dean of the studies that the institution haven't really started offering creative arts, but he can go for English. This got him angry because he was actually admitted to study creative arts and not English. He eventually had to leave after a year. He eventually gained admission to study creative art at Redeemers University, Osun State. The university is owned by the Redeemed Christian Church of God. While at the institution, he was bent on leaving a legacy that would make every student an ambassador of the university. He was the president of the student body while in the school and tried his best to make every student happy and comfortable. Few days before his graduation from Redeemer University, he got expelled over a post he made on his Facebook page. The university described his Facebook post as offensive and portraying the university in bad light, an act that constitutes serious misconduct and punishable by expulsion. The case was later settled out of court and he got his certificate from the institution in 2018. He completed his National Youth Service Corps NYSC in 2020 and was filled with joy as many of the serving corpers gathered around him for photos. He stated on his Instagram handle that he stood for over 2 hours taking photos with his colleagues who, for one reason or the other, appreciate his craft. He completed his NYSC Youth Service Corps in 2020 and was filled with joy as many of the serving corpers gathered around him for photos. He stated on his Instagram handle that he stood for over 2 hours taking photos with his colleagues who, for one reason or the other, appreciate his craft. Thank you for listening to this news. Um, you see, my viewers, sometimes life used to be very uneasy for some persons, despite the beauty of 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 the person's beginning, despite the fact that the person has a very sound beginning. Life will still want to cut the person short. Yes, and that is why you cannot predict life. You understand? Okay, you look at this young man. He has a very sound beginning, and the parents are very okay and good to go. You understand? And his dream was so beautiful, but along the line, sometimes what God wants for you is different from what you want for yourself, and that's why you always need to involve God in your ambitions. Anything you're doing, you want to get married, you want to go to school, you want to buy anything, involve God. You understand? So you can see the end point of this young man. He didn't end up a lawyer, but he ended up what? A creative act. And today, look at him, very successful, not minding the number of years he spent in the university and others, more successful than those that even graduated before him. So that's why we need to be thinking about uh, life after school. Many of us don't think about such. Don't think about life after school. But look at this young man. He has been doing that even while he has been getting many disappointments in past in university. But at the end of the day, look at him. He's successful. All right. Please, my viewers, I will appreciate it if you can come in and